The question of how to let go of someone you thought was the love of your life is one of the most delicate and profound we can face. I have often found myself reflecting on this theme, and the answers that emerge from my wisest and most aware part offer a surprising perspective. The secret lies not in walking away, but in loving even more. Authentic love does not depend on physical presence or closeness. It is a vibration that we can maintain and cultivate within ourselves, regardless of external circumstances. When I find myself thinking persistently about a person, I ask myself, am I choosing these thoughts or am I receiving them? This distinction is fundamental. Our mind often finds itself trapped in repetitive thought patterns, like a sort of echo of what has been. However, this repetition does not create a solution. On the contrary, it reinforces a state of resistance. The more I try to push away thoughts related to this person, the more I realize that I am fueling an oppositional energy, which not only holds back these thoughts, but also prevents me from receiving new inspirations and insights. This awareness led me to an essential question. How can I allow myself to welcome? Welcome is not a passivity, but a vibration of openness and acceptance. When we focus on what we want in a new relationship, such as fun, amazing experiences, and expansion, we are actually tuning into what we want to create. If I can find these feelings within myself without depending on a specific person or situation, then I am in alignment with my true essence. I clearly remember a moment of enlightenment when these words were whispered to me from within. The source within you loves those you hate, and that is why hate makes you feel so bad. At first, my reaction was resistance. I thought, but you don't know these people like I do. There are good reasons why I don't like them. Yet the more I tried to justify my resentment, the more I realized that I was trying to convince myself of something that wasn't in tune with my true self. Over time, I've learned to observe this internal dialogue with an attitude of curiosity and openness. I realized that every time I tried to fuel negativity, I distanced myself from the brightest and most serene part of myself. The source within that core of love and understanding continued to vibrate at a frequency of appreciation and acceptance, regardless of my limited perceptions. This awareness led me on a journey of deep introspection. I began to explore my emotions more carefully, trying to understand what triggered them and why certain people or situations aroused such intense reactions in me. I realized that negative emotions, such as hatred or anger, were not simply responses to external events, but reflected an internal disconnection, a sort of distancing from my true essence. Every time I felt diminished or judged, it was because I was activating a vibration that did not belong to the source within. Over time, I learned to see these emotions as valuable signals, indications of how far I was straying from my true nature. The source, in fact, does not judge. It does not lower itself to the vibrations of fear or contempt. On the contrary, it always remains in the vibration of love and appreciation. This taught me that every time I felt disconnected or upset, it was an opportunity to return to that higher vibration, to realign with who I really am. This realization profoundly transformed my way of living and perceiving others. I began to practice gratitude and appreciation not only for the people around me, but also for myself. I recognized that every human being is a reflection of that same source of love, and that the diversity of experiences and perceptions is nothing but a manifestation of the infinite facets of this universal energy. In this process of introspection, I learned to embrace vulnerability. I understood that accepting my emotions, even the negative ones, without judging them, was a fundamental step for my well-being and spiritual growth. Instead of pushing away or suppressing these emotions, I began to see them as opportunities for healing and growth. I learned to ask myself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this emotion to get closer to my true essence? Awareness of my emotional guidance has become a beacon in my daily life. Every emotion, positive or negative, became a message from my soul, an indicator of how much I was allowing myself to be who I truly am. This helped me develop greater compassion not only for myself, but for others as well. I began to see other people's behavior as an expression of their inner battles, their disconnections or connections with their inner source. This path also led me to a deep gratitude for life itself. I began to see every encounter, every challenge, and every joy as an essential part of my journey. I recognized that every person I met, every situation I faced, was an opportunity to grow and to expand my understanding of unconditional love. This taught me that true happiness does not come from the outside, but from the ability to align with that source of love that resides within us. Ultimately, the journey to appreciation and gratitude has shown me that our emotional experience is a compass that guides us to our inner truth. When we choose to listen to these emotions and use them as tools for growth, we get closer and closer to our true essence. This does not mean that challenges or difficulties disappear, but that we develop the ability to navigate them with an open heart and a peaceful mind, knowing that ultimately everything around us is a manifestation of the love and beauty that resides within.